Wherever our armed forces go, a vast amount of materiel must go along. All of it is necessary for success in battle. Some may be lost through enemy action. That can't be helped. But we must recognize another loss hazard, one which can be controlled. It is the action of so-called friendly hands, helping themselves to relatively small amounts of equipment and supplies. These hands have gone over to the enemy, reducing our vital stores of materiel just as ruthlessly as our enemy would. Where security measures are lax or inadequate, the security officer of an installation may count on receiving a steady stream of pilferage reports. Any system for the prevention of pilferage depends primarily upon the efficiency and discipline of the personnel assigned to carry out the general security plan. There are three fundamental principles in every security setup. First, attitude. A man guarding government property is in a position of special responsibility. His attitude toward the trust placed in him must be right. Second, control of persons entering or leaving an installation must be constant. Third, use all the security devices available. They are provided to discourage and to detect pilfering. The strict enforcement of all security regulations acts as a damper to temptation. The badge of a familiar person may be rescinded without the guard's knowledge. Therefore, where the pass is a badge, it must always be visible. A badge tells you at a glance that the wearer is authorized to be in the installation. Badges and other types of passes are issued by the provost marshal. A permanent pass will generally carry a photograph of the bearer. A record of all passes issued is on file in the provost marshal's office. Security personnel should be familiar with every type of pass issued, including those given to visitors and persons authorized to enter restricted areas. All visitors must state their business before they are admitted to an installation. Upon presenting satisfactory proof that they are authorized to enter, they are registered and issued a temporary pass. The register will be a record of each visitor's signature, personal address or business address, purpose of visit, time of entrance, and later time of departure. The return of every temporary pass is an extremely vital requirement in the prevention of pilferage. Permit no visitor to leave without returning his or her pass. Another basic measure against pilferage is the examination of all packages brought into or taken out of the installation. Store-wrapped parcels, lunch pails, and similar items must not be overlooked. Examine everything. A check room established at the entrance to the installation eliminates the frequent annoyances and delays involved in the inspection of packages. When an unannounced spot check is ordered, do the job thoroughly but not offensively. This is an excellent means of catching the more clever pilferers off their guard. No single security measure can cover all the dodges that a sharp pilferer can dream up. The main gate of this post has a special gadget called an inspectoscope. In a second, it shows any metal object that might be inside a package. Placed on the ledge, the package is examined by the concealed machine and its operator. When a questionable item is revealed, a signal notifies the military policeman on duty, who detains the suspect until he can be taken away for questioning. Traffic control, while designed for overall security, is another definite barrier against pilferage. Military policemen in their booths should be able easily to observe the approach of both incoming and outgoing vehicles. Pedestrians must be required to pass through entrances and exits provided for them. Separating the flow of pedestrians from the vehicular traffic simplifies the inspection of passes and packages. For the best control of vehicular traffic, at all times maintain a single line at the checkpoint. But don't imagine that these or any other checking methods by themselves will automatically wipe out all pilferage. And don't expect a fence alone to keep trespassers out or pilfered articles in. When patrolling the perimeter of an installation, do not permit any loiterers near the fence. Many a package containing valuable government property has been tossed over a fence to a Confederate or to be picked up later. Check the more vulnerable points each time around. An observation tower takes care of potential weak spots in the perimeter fence. The additional height allows the guard to clearly observe multiple activity or to keep an eye on unusual terrain features. When any gate is not in use, make sure that it is locked securely. Locked steel cribs and locked chests afford the maximum security against pilferage, but they must nevertheless be guarded. A communication system is an essential part of every good security plan. It's there to be used. Roving patrols are most effective when radios keep them in contact with their headquarters. Alarm systems are of two kinds. The silent alarm, this is only a demonstration, has an obvious advantage over the bell alarm. With this system, the thief or trespasser has no way of knowing he has been detected. Here is another technique which can sometimes be used to establish the guilt of a pilferer. This powder, invisible to the eye, is easily seen under an ultraviolet ray. A pilferer with this on his hands has no alibi. In a well-organized storage area, the storage arrangement will be such as to afford the guard long, wide lanes of observation. Where this principle has been disregarded, guards should notify their immediate superior. Lights should be so placed that guards can observe without being seen. Above all, a good system requires aggressive and alert guards, men who like to catch criminals. A guard who knows his job and realizes his responsibility plays the most important part in the prevention of pilferage. Study this case. This warehouse contains precision equipment, tempting and small enough to be easily pilfered. Because this is critical equipment, the security program has been adjusted to existing circumstances. An extra guard patrols the sensitive area. At all times, an experienced guard conducts himself in a businesslike manner, and because he knows his business, he continually varies his route and time schedule. If trouble comes his way, he's ready. Anyone may be a pilferer. This type is known as the casual pilferer. He is yielding to a more or less sudden temptation. Later, he'll find out what he's stolen, how valuable the article is, and what he can do with it, if anything. He gets a kick out of putting one over on the guards. An alert guard is more than a match for a pilferer. Notice that he acts quickly and firmly. Observe that the pilferer has become remorseful. He usually does, offering a wide variety of excuses for his unusual act. Never be influenced by the statements of a pilferer. Stick to business, call for help, and keep your prisoner covered. Assistance arrives quickly when the security system is sound. The corporal of the guard clearly informs the suspect that he is apprehended and under custody before searching him for concealed weapons and evidence of his crime. Because of the very nature of the act, the pilferer generally conceals the stolen article on his person. It is not part of a guard's duty to thoroughly investigate a pilfering incident. That's up to specially trained military police investigators. But it is a guard's duty to protect evidence that may be used later in the formal investigation and prosecution of the case. In this case, to protect the evidence, the guard stations himself near the box that was broken into and stays there until relieved. Then, working with the non-commissioned officer, he completes the job by writing out a clear and accurate report of exactly what happened. The report is forwarded to the security officer first, then next to the provost marshal, and finally to the commander of the installation. He reads every report because he is responsible for the overall security of the installation. The commander will have special orders issued through the provost marshal whenever unusual conditions arise. The security guard commander passes along the special orders together with all other security orders of the post commander. A typical example of a special order is one which directs the attention of guards to sensitive locations. Such orders are posted and also given verbally to the men who will carry them out.
Keep your eyes and ears open for anything unusual and report it immediately. Now, the special orders for Post 6, that includes warehouses 4, 5, and 6, have been posted. I'm going to read them to you just to be sure that they're understood. 1. This post includes the area of the parade ground, warehouses 4, 5, and 6, and the area between A and C Avenue. 2. Check all locks and windows on this post twice during the period of duty. 3. Report once an hour from this post using the field telephone. You know your general orders. You're all experienced guards. Do a good job. That's all. Detail. Pinch. Hunt. Sergeant, post your guard.
After instructions are issued, non-commissioned officers take over. As supervisors, they are responsible for the performance of the guards under them. Non-commissioned officers attend to the posting of the relief and inspect the guard at frequent intervals. As part of their administrative duties, the non-commissioned officers take care of reports and prepare special instructions. Here's a short story about casual pilferers who happened to get away with it once, so they decided to try their hand at systematic pilfering. Because it's night, one of the more experienced military policemen is on duty at the main gate. Even though this truck driver is a frequent visitor, he doesn't enter until his identification and pass are checked. So far, there is nothing unusual. Late visitors on this post, however, are unusual. Any act or happening which is unusual calls for prompt attention. It may be just a pleasant distraction, or it may mean trouble.
Oh, MP.
What's the trouble, miss?
Something real awful's happened. Me and my girlfriend can't get into a house.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, there's a man hanging around a corner, and we're afraid to go down the street. Do you think you could come with us for a minute?
I'll be glad to help you when I'm through with my tour of duty.
But it's urgent. This man is hanging around.
Shall I call for some help?
No. Never mind. You're not much use, you MPs.
Despite his courtesy, the military policeman is suspicious. This interruption off the routine calls for caution. What's this all about? Within the installation, one of the guards is patrolling his post, trying doors, checking windows, interested in everything within his sight or hearing. As the familiar truck approaches, the guard gives it only a casual look. Nothing unusual about this truck, unless it were to stop where it shouldn't. Uh-oh, that's it.
What held you? Is that all you got?
All? If we could get this much just once a week, we'd be doing all right.
Okay, let's get going. The MPs look kind of sharp tonight. Hey, don't forget to cover yourself.
Meanwhile, losing no time, the guard calls the corporal of the guard, who alerts the main gate.
Main gate, Private Hurst speaking. Okay, will do.
Wait a minute, hold up.
The conspiracy to commit systematic pilfering fails. Any outbreak of pilferage in these critical times must be regarded as a very grave danger, both to our armed forces and to our national security. The security measures shown apply to all situations, whether overseas or in this country. When the facilities required are not available, they must be improvised. Pilfering can be prevented, but it demands an energetic security force, carefully organized. There must be teamwork, common sense, initiative, know-how, judgment that anticipates the dodges of the pilferer system. And it must always be borne in mind that a basic mission of any security force is to prevent pilferage, to make it just too tough for the would-be pilferer to get started.